Hey guys, this is the new XRT from Traxxas. Really big surprise. This was unannounced. Retails for $9.99, available now. It's probably going to be sold out before Christmas. This is their new 5th scale truggy. Based on the same platform as the X-Max. This just has a lot of upgrades and an LCG chassis, which means lower center of gravity. It's going to be more of a controllable car, more of a car that drives like, you know, a racing, more of like the kind of like the sledge type of drive. But what the surprise on this car is that there are a couple of few components and upgrades over the X-Max that we kind of find really interesting, and it just shows that Traxxas, they always going forward and progressing in their cars, improving them. The first thing that we have to note is the wheels. So these wheels are probably the first time Traxxas put a stock wheel in a kit that was appropriate for the car. These wheels will not over balloon, they will not contort, they're not oversized, and they're not going to damage the differential and drivetrain when you take it out for a drive, even aggressively, even on 8S, I will say. This is a hybrid tire, so it'll be good on asphalt and on dirt. We like that also. They make a screeching sound if you drive them on hard concrete. We took it to a skate park. We did some burnouts, and as we hit the brakes, it kind of sounded like a real car skidding out. It was pretty cool. So the rubber compound they're using on these tires are also well thought out. I'm not sure which compound they're using, but it is appropriate for all surfaces. We also ran this in grass, wet grass that was dew on it. It held up pretty well, and it was even able to pull off wheelies and aggressive turning. The car does not flip over at all. Very planted, very solid. Like I said, Traxxas, they're starting to learn what people want out of the box. These tires are a significant upgrade over something like a Sledgehammer. Sledgehammer we think of as like a basher, or like a kind of like a almost like a toy-like tire, where it's not a professional drive, it's not a precise drive, it's not so fulfilling, at least for me. The Sledgehammer tires are original OEM tires on the actual sledge. That's why we changed them to the Response Pros with a smaller diameter tire, a lighter wheel, and a less aggressive, you know, weight on the. It just drives much better, more like a stock, like racing truggy. And that's what they did with this. This is now classified. I would classify this as a racing truggy. So, like I said, that the tires are a big contribution to the appeal of this. The drive is amazing. These tires are directional. You'll see an arrow on the tire itself, and that means they have to be put on the correct way. So if you look at the tread, they go forward here, and that definitely enhances the what's it called, the hard asphalt or the concrete stability and traction when you have a directional tire. Traxxas didn't stay still on this car. They did a lot of improvements on this car, and we're going to start with the body. So the body obviously is a clipless design. There is no pins on it. There's no awkward thing like in the X-Max where you have that rear contraption on the back that always gets stuck. This is just a pure clipless design. There's 4 clips on the car. The body just goes on and off very easy, seamless. There's no shaker rattle, and it looks really clean and neat. It's probably one of the best in the business as far as body post and contact. So we love this design, and it's great. What they did with this body, they decided to make a molded vent, which was smart, because if they made it out of Lexan, it would probably break after one run. So you have a molded vent, and that's going to prevent parachuting when you're doing extreme jumping with this car. The other vent they put on is the top, and that's going to help with downforce. We know that because they did that on the XO1, and it definitely made the car more planted when they had the little opening on top of the body. It helped, and it was a really big difference. So Traxxas is really into aerodynamics now. So you have one in the front, one in the top, and it really makes the car handle better, especially at high speeds and when jumping. All right, so what does this thing drive like? So as far as like jumping, it's very, very neutral, very controllable in the air, especially because of the tires and the LCG chassis. Completely neutral in the jumps, a lot of fun, very controllable, not over-exaggerated with power like on the sledge. It's more of a progressive and linear type of throttle situation, so I like that better. I also like the size of the car better, but jumps really good, and I'm a big fan. As far as straight line stability, very stable. The car is low, and it is moving at a very high speed. At no point are you worried about the car flipping like an X-Max or like a car that's taller. This car is planted. It really exudes confidence. If you look at my top, the skid bars, there's not much scratches on them. I don't think we flipped this even once. You see the wing on this. Usually there's like marks on the wing from like flipping this. If you look at my sledge, this thing flips all the time, and you get all that rash. This has no rash on it. We beat the crap out of this, and it, like I said, it's very stable. I think we flipped it once. Like I said, I don't think we may have not even flipped it at all. But yeah, very stable at high speeds and very enjoyable to drive on asphalt. Wheelies are a cinch to pull off. You can hold the wheelies for as long as you want. On asphalt, especially if you just give a really nice smooth throttle input, you're going to really hold this thing, and it's nice. It also does, we also set up a slalom course to just check the left to right maneuverability at high speeds. It really did well through the slalom. No chance of tipping, no sliding out. Really good, held the line. And like I said, this is a very enjoyable car to drive. Because of the hybrid tires, you don't have to change the tires when you're going from asphalt to dirt. It's kind of like a one and done car. It's like a jack of all trades. This thing will do every surface with these tires. We took this to a skate park just to see how it perform on hard concrete in a bowl. And we were surprised. It really held up. No breakage, nothing happened. We were very aggressive coming out of the bowl at full throttle. Nice banks. We did some slides. Really nice. We had a great time with this car at the track, and the people at the skate park were really nice. They let us test the car. They got out of the way for a few minutes, and we kind of ripped this thing. So overall, I'm going to rate this as one of my favorite new cars that Traxxas released. They really took the time to make all these improvements over past cars. They took a lot of notes. They listened. You could tell they're listening to customers by all the improvements that they're making on these cars. They're really listening. So this is a complete car out of the box. Because of the drivetrain is tried and true on the X-Max, and it's known for its reliability. This car is going to be the same thing, and it's really, really super reliable. A lot more reliable than Arrma cars, and especially Arrma transmissions. These are more robust, more durable. The cush drive in this is going to be low. Actually, I would call it a zero maintenance center differential, where on like a Crane 8S or like a Crane 6S, those center differentials need constant maintenance. Where this one, it's like zero maintenance. The way they design it was brilliant. So this is a car that is going to be one of my favorite driving cars, one of the most durable cars. It is expensive, but if you're going to buy one car this year, I would get the XRT. It is now my crown favorite for the year as far as Traxxas cars go. Now, one thing they improved over the X-Max was the heatsink. The heatsink is much, much bigger. So that gives you mechanical heat dissipation much better than an X-Max. Also, you have twin fans, one on each side instead of that single fan that's on the top of the X-Max, and it also looks really, really cool. I'm not sure if you can use this as an upgrade for an X-Max. I'm not sure if there's room in the chassis, but I'm sure people are going to be posting videos in the next coming weeks. If you can do that, maybe we will too. Anyway, great design. All right, so there are a couple negative things about the XRT, which we'll go over. The first one is the steering servo. So the steering servo in the XRT is really slow, very weak, and we're not inspired by it. So we definitely recommend the 2085X. This is the upgraded servo that Traxxas sells. It'll go directly in the XRT. It has much more torque. The transit time is much quicker. It comes with a much more durable linkage, and the spring for the servo saver is much stiffer. So overall, this is going to give you a much more satisfying experience when it comes to steering the XRT, and we think it's the first upgrade you should do on the car when you get it. The second thing is the gearing on the XRT. So it's the same type of gears that are in the X-Max that Traxxas has been producing for years. They're actually manufactured to be really inexpensive. They're made from a compressed powder that is hardened with heat, and they are brittle. We have a lot of customers that complain about them coming apart under hard use. That's why we recommend upgrading the spur and the pinion. The spur gear, you get a hot racing gear. They make them in they're hard steel, and they're CNC machined. Really a lot more durable, and they're going to last probably the lifetime of the car if you treat it well. The other thing that you must upgrade, this is more important than the spur, is the pinion. This is a Tekno pinion, a Mod 1 gear. They make them in different, all different sizes. And the highlight of this, obviously, is the actual steel The steel material is the first highlight, and then the second highlight is the grub screw is a 2.5 millimeter. So that lets you tighten it much more tight on the shaft. Also, it does not strip when you use Loctite. This is one of the upgrades you should go right now. 14 bucks, just go order it right now. Get one. If you even if you have an X-Max, get this right away. Unbelievable upgrade. The next thing are the Proline hubs. Now, this is a fit scale car. It comes with 17 millimeter hubs. This is not industry standard. On a car this size, you really should have 24 millimeter hubs. The only problem is, I don't know if they make really good tires that have 24 millimeter hubs on them that are appropriate for this car. Since I love the tires on this car so much, I probably would stick with what is here now and just use this. These are, I would call them perfect. I don't know any other tire on the market that would be better than these as far as overall performance, which I would call a hybrid. I would call this the hybrid tire, and it's a superstar. Like I said, the tire is a superstar of this new design. And even with those 17 millimeter hubs, I would just probably leave them alone. So what's nice about this chassis is it's more open than the X-Max. You don't have all those bars and all those components covering the electronics and the receiver. It's going to be a lot easier to remove and work on components here. You have the top three of the motor, the ESC, and the receiver box. They're all in the center, all easily accessible. Much, much bigger improvement over the X-Max. We love it, and we can't wait to work on this thing. Since it's a low center of gravity design, it will benefit from sway bars, whereas the X-Max probably would not. So we're hoping Traxxas is watching this video, and we're hoping they're going to release a sway bar kit for the XRT. We think it's going to help a lot. And like I said, Traxxas, if you're watching, please release a sway bar kit for this. We're all going to want one. We hope you enjoy this video. Please share this with friends and like it. And we'll see you on the next review. Have a great day.